Hey guys, it's Friday again, which I'm sure you're all very much aware of. Didn't really do anything today. Went to work. That's about it. It was really cool hearing those 10 nice things about Minnesota. I knew you could do it. It's not, just gotta give it a chance and everything. So yeah. But I figured today I could talk about my project that I've been working on for my Chicano art class, which is a codex book. It's sort of based on the original codex book, which, from what I know of, from what I've read in Anthro, they're just like they're associated mostly with Mayan Aztec cultures, and they're just like records of what happened with pictographs. And there's different elements of those that are in these projects that we did, which are like the Chicano version. Like you still read them from right to left, and something else. I don't remember. There's like different things that carried over. So yeah, different Chicano artists have done these, including my professor. Yeah. So for art specifically, it had to be about family history, or not so much family history as much as how you got to the point where you are now, but basically family history. Like that's where she was going with it, right? Um. So yeah, so family history. I had a really hard time with it. Like I don't like to start things until I know what I want to do, and so it took me a long time to figure out what I want to do. And I came to the comic book idea, and then I think I was talking to Jamie, and she was just like, "Just do it," and I was like, "I'm gonna do it." So I did it. So yeah, this is my codex book. This is the cover, the back, and see the inside. The foldy paper thing. That's part of the formatting. I didn't like come up with that. It's part of how we had to do it. And again, it's read from right to left. So yeah, my codex. I don't really like the cover. My professor really liked it. I like the idea that I had in my head about it. I think it was better, but it didn't come out as well, probably because it was the last thing that I did because I had. It took me a long time to figure out how I wanted the cover to look. But yeah, I still like parts of it, right? Like it has different elements from the stories inside. Um, and then half of it is painted and half of it is in pastel. Like these are pastel boards. The first, the cover and the back, they're pastel boards. So it's a different texture, right, for pastels. And I have oil pastels, which is odd because I don't actually like oil pastels. Um, or at least the ones I have, they're kind of like crayons. Uh, so it's hard to like blend. I don't know. I prefer chalk pastel personally, but I don't have any. But anyway, so 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 I did this, and the rest of it was painted when I got tired of trying to use the pastels. I did it like last minute, but it turned out okay. My classmates also like the inside and everything because it's like comic booky. But yeah, the cover. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so it has different elements from the stories inside, like these red, no, not red, they're orange actually. Orange lines here going down it are they're little Nerf gun darts, and there's a little Nerf gun there. You can't really see it though. From a story about my last Christmas with my family. Got a little crazy with the Nerf guns, and so there's a little picture of it too. So there's Nerf guns flying everywhere. There's someone jumping off the tree, which didn't actually happen. I thought that was funny. um, yeah, and there's like a tree that I drew in a story about my great great grandfather. It's not significant to the story, but you know the tree is there. Then little strawberries from it represents like the different jobs my dad did once he first came to California, including fruit picking and stuff. So the strawberries, I don't know. Candle represents the death and abandonment stuff, which is sad, but part of the stories. Um, there's a little ring that looks like my mom's engagement ring. I don't know what else. The black dots are actually based on these cockroaches in one of the stories. I keep saying stories, but in one of the drawings that I have, one of the panels. Um, yeah, and it's, and then this is sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. This is Quetzalcoatl. He's a feathered serpent god. He's not like a random dragon that I decided to throw in there. Yeah, yeah. So that's the front cover, and the back cover is just super simple. Um, yeah. So I don't know. I actually could go through the inside a little bit. because I haven't really shown it, have I? So it starts off here, and you kind of could decide like how far back you wanted to go, and if you wanted to just focus on one side. But since I don't have too much family history, I want to show all of it, basically, or at least like images of most of it. Yeah, I did have to talk to my mom a couple times to get like details right and everything, but I kind of knew most of it for the most part. And then so the indigenous group, as I keep saying, or as I keep thinking to myself at least, I don't actually know what indigenous peoples or groups my family comes from specifically. I just know like I have a general idea just because of the area my parents are from and the different indigenous groups that have lived there or still live there to this day. Like this is represents the Rara Muri. I don't know how they pronounce the name. In Spanish, it's Tarahumara. They're known for long distance running, and this little character guy I actually got from a website. Their website, a website about them. I don't know. Um, this is like the Spanish coming in, right? Obviously, mixed with Spanish. Toltec warrior. This is just Otomi fabric. I have no idea if I'm at all related to the Otomi, but they're from the same area and they're known for their fabric, so I put that in there. This is Pancho Villa, because my great great grandfather and his brother left his army um, and lived in the mountains for a few days as they made their way back home. Um, oh yeah, and then the top side is my mom's side of the family, and the bottom is my dad's side. So it's split down the middle. It even says up here that there's two different stories. Yeah, and then my dad's side, I don't know specifically. I just know that like his family, or not his family, but like the people, the groups of people that his family came from and is associated with, lived with, whatever. They came in different groups and moved from one state to another in Mexico. Um, yeah, they're my great grandparents and their first child. Wait, I skipped one. Here we go. Um, this is my great great grandfather again. I try to be all cool with the colors, kind of. Like his shirt's mostly red, but there's a stripe of yellow down it, because he was Spanish and indigenous. That's my great great grandmother, and she was French and indigenous, or she's part French. Um, so her little hairband is actually the French flag. You can't really see it though. And this is my great grandmother. She was really cool. She got pregnant when she was like 20 and was unmarried. She got kicked out, so they did reconcile eventually. So she raised my grandfather on her own for the most part. She was like a teacher and everything, so she's really cool. These are my grandparents. I don't actually know what they look like, though. I think there's a picture of my grandmother somewhere because my parents would visit her with my sister before I was born, and she passed away the year before I was born. Um, yeah, and my grandfather on that side, he also passed away before my dad was born, which is what this part's showing. And this is my grandmother, and her mother also passed away when she was really young, in childbirth. And her father was not a nice man. I won't go into detail really, but he did leave them, or her and her brothers and sisters, at an orphanage after her mother died. Yeah, this is my grandparents, and this is my dad, and he's a little older now in his red shirt. He's, from this point on, he's always in red shirts until we get to the now. Um, yeah, because again, I was trying to be smart with the colors because I didn't have all the time to finish the colors and everything. Yeah, and then his mom also left him and his brother and sisters when they were young with his uncle. Yeah, and this is my mom, a picture of my mom when she was little, and they moved to California eventually. My dad left when he was like 13ish to go work and stuff, and yeah, I made his way. This is the wrong state actually, or you can't see it, but I drew a little line going to the state he went to, but it's the wrong state. I just realized that when I was turning it in, I was like, oh, wrong state. That's okay. Um, yeah, and then him when he came to California and he had different jobs all over it. And this is like strawberry field. Um, um, yeah. And then my mom, different stories about her in when she finally moved to California and stuff. And yeah, and then when they met, and my mom didn't like him at first, and then he asked her to marry her after like 3 months, which I have the dates there specifically to show that. She was like, "No, I'm really young. Ask me again in 2 years if we're still dating." And yeah, this is them married, but this is little symbols of like during their dating era. Like their first date was at Six Flags, and they went rollerblading and played volleyball a lot with their friends. And then this is little me, my brother and sister, also young, and this is at this time next year show. I wanted to put that in there. And this is little photo booth pictures with me and my friend. That's a Chivas USA ticket in the back. Can't really see it. Again, the Nerf gun war from Christmas. Um, this is me graduating high school, and this picture of me now. And this is the gate at my school at Cal. Um, so I just want to show how I'm now at this school, whatever. But yeah, so I thought it was cool, and I tried to put a bunch of things that I really like the Nerf gun war. And this is the, I guess my grandma even got involved. This is her hiding behind the couch, and yeah, I don't know. I thought it was kind of cool. I did have a good time doing it after all, but yeah. And this is a really long video. I apologize. I'm gonna stop now, but that was my codex, and yeah, I guess that's about it. So I will see you next Friday.